In the 5.5 live stream, we were shown two new artifact sets that will be coming this patch, so let's just jump straight into this and see which characters these sets will be worth farming for. Alright, so first we have Finale of the Deep Galleries, which gives 15 cryo damage bonus on the 2-piece, and then the 4-piece is very weird. It gives 60 damage bonus to both normal attacks and burst damage, with the normal attack buff getting disabled if you hit with a burst and vice versa. This is a lot of stats. What's weird is that to get the damage bonus, you have to literally not have any energy at all, which makes the set useless on every current character in the game. The design of this set makes it pretty obvious it's meant to be used for Skark, who was shown by Hoyo to be coming sometime in the next few patches. And the effects of this set indicate that she's probably going to be some sort of cryo version of Mavrika, being able to on-field with normal attacks or off-field with burst, more than likely. So she's probably going to be a very powerful and versatile character that a lot of you are probably hyped for and will be farming this set for her in advance. Should you start farming for this set, you'll be getting pieces of the other set, Long Night's Oath, at the same time. Long Night's Oath provides 25 plunge damage bonus with its 2-piece. This is basically direct artifact power creep, considering that Meira Shusei Hunter is normal and charged, but only gives 15%, so I'm not sure why Plunge is allowed to get 25 instead of the same 15. But nonetheless, the 4-piece of this set then gives an additional 15 plunge damage bonus up to 5 stacks, so you can reach a total of 100 plunge damage bonus with this set, and that's an insane amount of stats. However, there are some caveats here, as the stacks of this set are counted independently and only last 6 seconds, so you're not always going to have that full 100. The way you get the stacks is by hitting enemies with skills, charged attacks, or plunging attacks, with skills and charged attacks getting 2 stacks, and plunge getting 1. With how these stacks are obtained, the set is clearly tailor-made for Varesa, as she was shown to have a gameplay loop of skill, charged attack, plunge. Until her early access videos are up, we have her numbers and everything. I won't be able to calc how well this will compare to Codex on Varesa, but based on the gameplay shown in the live stream, it looks like she takes a while before actually consuming Night Soul, and doesn't spend much time actually in her Night Soul blessing state, so Codex will likely have scuffed synergy on her, thus I can definitely see Oath being notably better on her. But we'll know for sure once I can actually calc it, hopefully next week. As for other characters, I know a lot of people are talking about this set on Xiao. When it comes to Xiao, there are a lot of different variables that can affect exactly how the set compares to Vermilion and Hunter on him, such as if you're using a crit rate weapon or not, and what combo you do, whether you're using Bennett or Xian Yun, etc. To keep things simple, I calced him on Jade Winged Spear in his FFXX team, and assumed he's doing a normal combo of 12 in 1 HP. Under these assumptions, Oath is about 3% ahead of Vermilion, and it seems that no matter what the scenario, Oath is going to be within either 3% ahead or behind Vermilion or Hunter, whichever is better under the specific assumptions. Oath is basically always going to be about 3% behind or ahead, regardless. So it can be either a minor upgrade or not actually an upgrade at all. Thus, I would not advise farming the set specifically for Xiao if you already have a good Vermilion or Hunter set for him. If you are a new or future Xiao main, you might not have one of these sets for him already, in which case this set can be good to farm, although Meirashusei Hunter has way more resin value, so it's probably better for overall account value to farm that instead. Therefore, I'd really only recommend this set for Xiao if you're going to be farming for the Skark set anyway. Just pick up some Oath pieces for Xiao over time along the way. And the one more thing with Xiao is, you might have him C6 or plan to C6 him one day, in which case Oath is about 7% behind Vermilion or Hunter, so it's not worth it in that case. But moving on from Xiao, the character that looks to actually benefit from this set the most is Diluc. In a Melt Plunge team, Diluc cannot afford to cast his skill without messing up melts. This does mean he's stacking the Oath set slower than he otherwise could, but it also means he can't stack Crimson Witch in his Melt Plunge team at all, whereas with Oath, he is still getting stacks by plunging even though he's not getting them from his skill. So this results in Oath being about a 7 to 8% increase, which will be very noticeable on Diluc since he's basically 100% of the team's damage. So for Diluc, this set is definitely worth farming, especially if you don't have Crimson Witch yet, as that set is not in a good resin value domain. But if you are fine with your Diluc's output, you can certainly stick with Crimson Witch if you aren't going to be farming the new domain for Skark or anyone else. Now, if you play Diluc in Vaporize rather than Melt, it seems to be about equal to Meiwa Shusei Hunter, but if you have Diluc on a crit rate weapon like Beacon, Sharpened Spine, or Fruitful Hook, then Oath should be best even in Vaporize. And when we talk about Diluc, we have to then talk about Gaming. With Gaming, it's basically the reverse of Diluc. Gaming stacks Crimson Witch with his skill casts, but his skill doesn't actually do damage, so it does not stack Oath. You still get stacks from his plunge hitting, so it is a viable alternative around the strength of Meiwa Shusei Hunter, about 7% behind Crimson Witch, but again, Crimson Witch is a low resin value domain, so you might not have farmed the set, in which case getting Oath instead is perfectly fine as long as you are okay with doing 7% less damage than you otherwise could have. Hunter is more resin efficient, but if you are going to be farming for Skark anyway, you're killing two birds with one stone, so this is still good. And then, the only other character that really ever does plunges is Hu Tao. Plunge is not Hu Tao's best team, but it is a good alternative to using Shalonen or Bennett if you don't have them available, or you simply just want to use Plunge instead for whatever reason, so it is still worth looking at the numbers for this. Now, Hu Tao can actually get all 5 stacks of this set rather easily since she performs charged attacks even in Plunge, and her Blood Blossoms count as skill damage. However, this set only buffs her plunging attacks, and her charged attacks are still a very relevant portion of her damage in this team, so Oath ends up about 2 to 4% inferior to both Hunter and Shimenawa's. Now, Hu Tao isn't an overwhelming majority of the damage in her team by any means, so for the overall team output, you probably won't really feel the damage loss of using Oath since the percentage is so low, but Hunter and Shimenawa's are both in way more resin efficient domains, so the only reason to use Oath on Hu Tao and Plunge is if you're farming the domain anyway, and happen to be picking up good pieces for her. But yeah, that's everyone. Overall, Long Night's Oath is a pretty good set, but nothing too insane, primarily an upgrade for Diluc, and more than likely for Varesa as well, and a good side grade for pre-C6 Xiao. Then the other set, Finale of the Deep Galleries, that set is clearly meant for Skark, so pretty much no reason to be farming that unless you're planning to get good artifacts for her in advance. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to like and subscribe and comment your thoughts down below. Thanks and goodbye.
I can't pretend my